me just get this all happening here, because at the moment you can't see who you're talking to. Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Australia on the beautiful New South Wales Central Coast. It's beautiful day out there. I've been at work, so I was a little bit unorganised today, so I'm sorry that we're a little bit later than normal. Hopefully you can all get on and catch up with me. So I'm also on a bit of a time frame because we're running out the door. So what little bits of Stampin' Up news. There's our last chance items are still going strong. Quite a few things have sold out. So if there's anything that's on your wish list, it is a good time to get in there and make sure that you snabble them up. Some of them have been greatly reduced, even up to 50%. Our new catalogue mini is starting in January, on the 7th of January. It's also when we've got our next big promotion for our joining special. You can join at any time. It's $169 to join, and that nets you at the time about 33% discount, but then gets you an ongoing discount of 20% all the while that you stay current. So it is something to think about, because what's better than having a good access to high quality craft supplies is having a discount on top of it. So let me show you my table today. So today I've brought over country flowers. This is new to me. When country flowers is one of the, I'm just going to pop this on so that I can see comments, because last time I missed out on comments. I couldn't see who was chatting to me or any of that sort of stuff. So I am going to put, turn it down though. I am going to put it on in front of me just so I can see if anyone is commenting or anything like that. Just so, because I think Restream's, I don't know, it's done something to me, but anyway, that's all cool. Hi Lol, how you going? Hopefully you and Tricia are still together and you're both watching. So Country Flowers is new to me. It was a stamp set that wasn't on my wish list, but I've seen some great things done with it, and I thought, I know what I want to do with this one. So I popped up a post yesterday about watercolouring. Now we've got watercolour pencils. There's 2 different packets of them. I've joined mine together. So mine are all in one of our old stamp boxes. They do fit in our, hi Kate, how you going? They do fit in our slimline ones, but only one packet fits in here. So you can buy the cases separately. You get them in a packet of 4. They're in the online store. So this one here is a photopolymer stamp set. I would normally say to use a red rubber stamp set for this, and actually I'm starting to think I probably should have, because I've only bought over my StazOn, and I don't necessarily want to get StazOn. Has a tendency, unless you clean it off straight away, has a tendency to damage your photopolymer stamp. So it's not something that you want to use regularly with them, but I am going to today because I really want to do this. Now I run classes here. Hi Sharon. I run classes here the last weekend of every month, except for December, because, you know, it coincides with everybody being so busy with Christmas. But my next class is in January, and I'll also do I'm planning some videos for the launch of the new catalogue. But this is one of the packs that I would normally give my attendees to my class. So they get 3 different cards that we make, and they get enough supplies to make 2 of each card. So this was enough to make 2 of this particular card. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pinch one of everything from it, except for these pieces, because I don't actually need them. All right, so, but I do need that. I'll have an envelope, and then this one here has some pretty peacock, and there was 4 sheets of pretty peacock in it, one for the inside, one for the outside. Now there was 2, a front and a back, front and an inside, but I'm going to keep these 2 spare bits because I'm going to use them, because I am going to cut out my pieces. Now, under normal circumstances, I would not encourage you to use StazOn on your photopolymer stamps, but I don't have one here that isn't photopolymer. Yeah, that's right, Lol. It is the 4th weekend of every month, so it's not the last one. It's the last full weekend. Your photopolymer as well. All right, There's nothing close by, so we're going to do it today, and I'll give it a good scrub as we go just to get the chemical off. Now, the other thing that I brought over with me is elements of text. There used to be a stamp set that like this one that I loved. The other one had a plant in it as well. But look, I really like that. It's really hard to read the text, but you know what? There's a bit of grungy stuff, a little bit of grungy text, and there's quite a bit. It's, to me, this is absolutely fabulous stamp set. It is brand spanking new. So I will show you how I pop my stamps onto the red rubber, how I put the backs on them. I've got a block, but it's covered in stamps from last week because I didn't put them away. So I'll just whack them on the back of here because I'm going to need this massive block. So there's lots of different things that I do. I will clean these ones after. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like the weeks are just running away from me. I don't know. I can't believe it's Christmas next week. Hi Pauline, how you going? This one's going to be fabulous. Sharon will agree, for our scrapbooking pages, isn't it? And then I brought over the Starstruck embossing folder just because I want to have a use of it. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, so I've got a bit of variety here as to what we're going to do. So bare basics. Let's get a little bit started. All right, bone folder, and we'll just fold our white base in half. What I do with my cards is I cut the cardstock in half, gives me the A5, and I just go from there. All right, so one card base, one card front. That one's going to go on there. This one here is going to get embossed, but I'm thinking that I might grunge it up a little bit first. So I've got my stays on, and it's actually the only ink that I brought over here, aside of my pencils. So we're really going to be batching it. Now, I really like this nice big one. Look at the size of that baby. Isn't that huge? And I do like the grungy one as well. So this one here. I'll show you how I put our stamps come with instructions on how to put them together. Now, you'll work out which one suits you the best. Hi, Dimity, how you going? It's a matter of working out which one you like the best as to way to put them. This way here is easy. This one, it works well. But over time, I've come to the conclusion that this is how I like to do it. Now, you're going to fit on there, aren't you? Oh, my gosh, only just. Okay, let's see. So find which side you got to find which side it's cut out of. And then when you squeeze it, there's like a line in it. I fold this over here and then do it on the other side as well. And then I actually pull this whole thing off. This is the side that's going to stick against the block. Okay? So I'm going to actually put it on said block. Probably needed the bigger one. It's a beauty. Okay? So I stick that onto the block and then I pull these guys off. Now what I do is I take this bit off here. Okay. And then it's a matter of working out. All right, so I've got loops here and I've got 4 loops up there. So that there is going to be the top, but you'll see there's like a little kick down here anyway. And then I'll turn it over and I'll line it up. Now, you're going to see more of the top of my head now, okay, because I need to get over the top of it. And you can actually see like there's like an edge around here. And you can see where that edge is. And if you hold your tongue in the right spot, you can then place that on there and it will sit perfectly over the top of it. The stamp set with the grungy stamp in it is Elements of Text. It's available in our online store as an online exclusive. All right. Now, the other thing that I will often do is one of the things that we use at my classes is these cello bags. Okay. So I end up with cello bags and lots of them. And again, you'll end up with them because of your gems come in little cello bags and all that sort of stuff. Especially with the big ones, I'll have a tendency to using, this is one of the cello bags from those gems. I will actually cut a little piece of cello bag. Doesn't need to be a big piece, just a little tiny piece. And I've got 2 here because I don't know about you guys, but I'm really bad at putting my blocks, my stamps away on the day, right? So I'll often cut a little piece and I'll stick it on here like so. And then I'll trim around that because there's like a little bit of a flappy bit that's hanging around here, and just trim that off. What that does is when my stamp is on here, it makes it easier to grab it. Okay, because if you have them stuck, if you walk away from them, they seem to get even stickier, and they stick more and more and more. So I find that if you do that, they're not as they're a little bit more forgiving when it comes to taking them off. Okay, so find your center, move your little bits, your 2 bits apart, grab it like so. The bit that's from underneath will be the bit that goes on your block. Take them off, throw them all over the desk. I know I'm not the only one that does it. Toss it all over the desk. I really need to get a garbage bin for my desk, I think. Work out which way up it is. Easier if you're standing over it. Now, the other thing, sometimes it's easier if there's a piece of white paper under it. So let's put that envelope under there. It just makes it so that you can see. My gosh, I'm blind as a bat. I hope Katie's not watching. Oh, that's better. Makes it easier to see where that edge is, and then you can just plonk it down, because this is very unforgiving. You get one go, okay? But it makes it perfect. All right. So, and then you see sometimes I have a bit of trouble getting them off. Well, there's a person at my front door. I hope they don't make too much noise. The dogs are going to bark, so and it just makes it easier. He lives here. He's allowed here, but the dogs are still going to bark. It just makes it easier to pull it off. That's all. Hi, Suzanne. How you going? Gosh, everybody's here today. All right. And I'm just making it up as we go along. So we'll see how we go. Gosh, nothing like a little bit of pressure. All right, so that's elements of texture. I've just put 2 pieces together. I don't know what I did. Where did I put the rest of the stamps? They're not in here. They can't be too far. All right, well, I've got the ones that I want, so that's the main thing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just put a little bit of stays on here. Now, that's the other thing I've done with my stays on, okay, is I've put a glue dot in here. There's a little protective, can you see it when I do that? There's a little protective cover for your stays on, because the stays on ink is alcohol based, okay? So there's a couple of things that when you're stamping, if you're coloring with water-based products, you need an alcohol-based outline. When you're coloring with alcohol-based products like our Stampin' Blends, you need a water-based outline. So Stays-On's our alcohol, because I'm going to be coloring with, well, I'm going to use our blending pen, so it's similar to using water. All right, so like I said, Stays-On's the only thing that I brought over to the table, so we're just going to go with it. This part could be done with, could have been done with Memento, but it's too late now. All right, so I've got my cover in there, and it actually stays in there permanently so I don't lose it, okay? Because this ink will dry really, really fast, and there is Stays-On cleaner in the online store. Now, just make sure that you do get it up the right way, because they are words and you do want them to be the right way up. Okay. All right. And then I'm just going to stick a little bit of grungy stuff over the top. Oop, just so it's not so perfect, okay? I've got Stays On Cleaner in the drawer. I will clean those off with that later, okay? So that's essentially already dry on there, okay? This piece here, I'm going to run through the embossing folder just to make it look a little bit more grungy. Do you remember Gorgeous Grunge, ladies? Elizabeth, you might. Suzanne, you might. Pauline won't, because it's from a long time ago. Now, this one here is a normal embossing folder. It is not a 3D embossing folder, so let me show you how we make this sandwich. It's a bit different to the ones that I've been making in the past because it's a normal embossing folder. So the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine will tell you, this is for our thin dies. This one here is our normal embossing folder. So it's telling me to put number 1, and it's saying to use 2 lots of number 3. Okay, so I'm getting my high quality mats, popping the side that the Stampin' Up logo is on is the top. Okay, just so that you remember that. Now this one is a little bit, it's straight. So it's got you need to put your piece of paper in straight because it's got, the pattern is directional. All right, it all lines up. Okay. All right. And there we have that. I'll come back in a minute because we need to cut it, do some cutting. And it just changes the dynamics of that piece. Now we can come back in because I just want to put, now when I've done it this way, it's not covering. I'll show you close up. The reason why I did it like that is what you'll see is how it's just on the tops of that embossed piece. So it's not the whole stamp. So it just gives you a different look again. Okay. So that piece is going to end up on here. And I'm not going to do anything else to it. So I will glue it straight on because I can. And it does look a little bit messy in there, and that's okay because I'm going to hide it. Okay. All right, so I will stick that on there, and we do need to remember to make sure that it's the right way up. Okay. If you want to, you can put some of those some of that grungy mess on the inside, or we can put some of our floral stuff on the inside. Okay, so I'll just put all of that to the side with that. Okay, and we're going to need an envelope. It dries on your glass mat because normally Divinity is a really pretty one. It's a bundle in the catalogue, in the annual. So it's, yeah, I've only just got it. It's been sitting on my wish list for a little while. So yeah, I can understand how you missed it. All right, so I'm just getting a few things together here because I'm going to use Stays On a photopolymer stamp set, which, can you see the look on my face? I'm petrified about doing. Well, I'm not petrified. I don't like doing it because I know that it is going to stain my stamps. They are going to end up black. But the aim of the game is to stamp it and get as much of the chemical off my stamp as quick as possible. So it'll be a matter of stamp it, clean it, stamp it, clean it. I'm not using the Stays On cleaner. I'm just going to use water with my chamois. And the reason being is the Stays On cleaner will also eat photopolymer stamp sets over time as well. And I don't want to do that damage. Okay, so let's go back to my desk. Hi, Donna, how you going? All right, it's nice to see you on here too. All right, so Country Florals, there is dies to go with it. So these are brand spanking new as well. All right, so okay, so look, we've got we've got little flowers, extra leaves, but plus we've also got the bits we're going to be able to cut out. So there's extra leaves here that you can cut out, you can color, you can do all that sort of stuff. Extra flowers, quite a variety of extra flowers, and there's quite a lot of them. Like these two here are the same. So, and there's the little teapot, even there's a lid for the teapot if you prefer to put a lid on it. So it just depends on what you want to do. So I know that I'm going to have my little stool, and I'm thinking about, I really like this one here. Is that a milk jug, would you say? I think the milk jug's rather cute. And I'm going to use this bunch of flowers. Now, depending on what sentiment you want to use, you may find that there's not a sentiment on here that you like and you want to make a birthday one. You can use a sentiment from a different set. That's wholly and solely up to you. But I'm just going to pop Sending Love on today's one. So let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to need, I'll just take off that one and pop that over there. I'm going to need a stool. So we'll do a stool first, and milk jug should fit on here. And my floral one is going to have to go back on there. I only brought one E-block over with me, so we'll grab that in a minute. So we'll just do these two pieces first. I've got my cleaner all ready just to give it a quick scrub. Oh, I wonder what that one's for. There's even a plain line. Might be for the top of my if we're not going to hide our bits with the flowers, but so that we can put the top on it. Okay, so some stays on. Now, I do encourage you to keep closing your stays on a regular basis. It is a beautiful, it stamps so nicely, but as you can see, it doesn't really come off. All right, so just be aware of that. You will end up with black stamps. Okay, and we want a old-fashioned milk jug. Give it a really good clean after you've done it. It might not, actually that one came up pretty good. See, you can only just see it. All right, I'll just cover that for a sec while I get my flowers out. I think these ones are the ones that I really want to use because they're nice and big. If you're going to get a bunch of flowers, we want a nice big bunch, don't we? Sometimes you've got, it'll show you where everything is because you can see the shadow of it, but I'm just going to put that one back there. All right, I don't need this one again. I think it's from there. And do I have any spare leaves? Nope, I can just cut them out if I want to. Okay, so I was going to put on here, Sending Love, there it is. Okay, so we're going to need, I'm going to do a couple of lots of flowers, okay? Make sure you're up the right way. So this one I think is going to end up staying black on us because, oh, how nice does that stamp up? Because I've stamped it so many times, I think it's gonna, some of that black's gonna stay on there, but let's see. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. Have I convinced you need it yet, Dimity? All right, so we don't need that. I'll save that one for later. Let's do some colouring, okay? Make sure you close that one up properly. It will, what's the word for it? Will dry out really fast. Okay, so using our watercolour pencils, there is two sets, like I said before. You don't need both. You can just get away with one, but because I've got both of them and they've mixed up and I don't know which one belongs to which set, I also keep in here a couple of blending brushes just because I can. All right, they do have the names on them, but it makes it so that you can colour quite nicely. Now, the beauty about it is you don't have to be really, really neat. So You do have to stay in the lines. That's the only thing. So, but you don't have to be exceptionally neat. You just need to get a bit of colour onto these pieces, just so that you can. Would you say that's a flower, or would you say that's a bunch of leaves? What do you reckon? I can't decide. I'm gonna go with like a flower with that one. What do you reckon? You think that would be good? All right, so let's have some real red. Let's have a nice real red flower. So this one here is going to be red, and I'm just putting a bit of mess on it. Doesn't need to be anything fancy smancy. These ones are going to be the same flower, but they just haven't opened up yet, so they need a little bit of color. All right. Well, that one looks like it could be a leaf. So I'll make that a leaf, that bit there. Okay, might make this one some yellow and some orange. And I'm not, like I said before, I'm not being too neat. I'm going to put a little bit of orange in here. I'll hold it up closer in a sec. Shall we make this baby over here pink? So there's Floaty Flamingo. What are you? That's Melamando. Let's go with hot pink, eh? Now, some of them you'll find, what you'll find is we've got the watercolor set of for the kit. You'll find some watercolor pencils in there. If this is something that's new to you, that's a good way to start. Okay. So what you're going to see is this is really, oh, there's cherry cobbler. Let's make that center of this one that darker red. And because I can, the center of that one is actually going to be black. All right. So like I said, yeah, I think it's a flower as well. Look how messy that is. It's not neat yet, okay? And we've got the inside and the envelope to color as well. I'm not going to color the envelope. You don't need to watch me or color the envelope, but I will color it later so that when I take my photo. Now, this here is my bucket. All right. Now, buckets are shiny in the middle, so I'm not going to put too much color in the middle, but it's a silver bucket. Okay. And again, I'm definitely not that neat. All right. And because we've had this bucket for a long, long time, I'm going to add this one here. What are you? Your Cajun Craze. I'm going to add a bit of brown to said bucket. So it looks like it's a little bit rusty. And you wait till you see how nicely these blend together. And I'm going to put, just because I can, this really, oh, actually you're not going to be dark. Yes, you will. This is balmy blue, but just going to put that blue around there. I should put the green. Okay, and then we've got a stool. Stools are, this stool in particular is going to be a dark brown. Again, it doesn't need to be neat. And you can always add more color. You can't take it away. So just be aware of that and be aware of your shadows. Okay, so the underneath of your stool, especially here at the back, is quite dark. Okay, because those are our feet at the back. All right. So just be aware of that. And our bucket's actually going to sit on here, so that's okay. All right, so I'll just give these a bit of a quick color as well. I'm going to do them exactly the same color as the other one because I want to put the whole card together and I don't want to do this. You want to do it before you put the card together, okay? Because there's nothing worse than it makes it, it doesn't work as well if the card's soggy. Oh, I've done them in, oh no, I've done them in the right color. Okay. And you'll see how I've stamped off the edge. The reason why I stamped off the edge is because then it looks like it's just peeking in there. Okay. Where'd I put the dark red? All right. They're all Stampin' Up colors. Okay. Pink And then we'll do some orange and some green. If you're using watercolor paper, you can use the water painters. But because I'm not using watercolor paper, I'm using, wrong color. I'm using my blender pens. Now, what I've got to hope is that these two blender pens in here haven't been in here for too long. I do swap them out. They do dry out, so just be aware of that. Put that envelope over there. You can leave that black and white. It looks fabulous black and white as well. Okay, so let's, oh, yeah, they're still wet. Okay, so there's two ends to each blender pen. Mine live on their side. Actually, that one looks newer. Let's use that one. Mine lives on their side. Ah, welcome back, Suzanne. Okay, now I always work from the lightest to the darkest, so it's up to you, but I'm going to do my green first. And the reason why I do the lightest to the darkest is just so that I don't have to clean the blending brush tip as much, but it just wipes off. Okay, so if you've got dark clothes on, you're welcome to wash it on your clothes, but if you just have a piece of scratch paper beside you, it'll come off. So I just use my pants. Sorry, guys. So yellow and orange are our next lightest color, so they're going to go next. I'll just blend those two together. All right, push that out there a bit. Got to hold your tongue in the right spot. Pretty flower. Okay. I do need a piece of scratch paper because that is not ideal drawing it on my pants. My pants are navy, so it doesn't matter, but it's still not ideal. It's not really very good for the tip of the pen. It's got like a brush. It's similar to the tip that's on the blending brushes. Okay. And then we're going to do this pink one. And you can make bits of it lighter and darker depending on where you put your ink. Or it's not actually ink, but where you put your pencil. Okay, because when you look at a flower, they're not all one color. Like it's not, you might have lighter bits and darker bits of your flower. So you can get a lot more realistic with it, especially if you're watercoloring it. Now I will go straight into the cherry cobbler here because that's quite dark, but I didn't put the black dot on the other one. And then I'll come into my red. And it just looks, it makes them look so nice because you can almost give them a texture. And it's nice to be able to color them all different. And you could color all these flowers any color you like, but I just went with some real flower colors rather than going, I've seen some done with some blues and they just look fabulous, but it just depends on what you want. So get some of that black and I'll just put some of that black in there. See what I mean? It stays on. Now, so that's my inside. My inside's looking pretty, look, see the difference? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, so my grays, because I just pulled over from the black, I'm just going to come in here and do my grey. And I'm just giving it a bit of a colour all over, blending that pencil around. Making my bucket look as rusty as they come. Try to avoid going over my blue at the minute because I don't want the blue to leach into the top because that's just a nice band there. Okay, and we'll just go around that blue. Okay, and there's the bucket. See what I mean? It just goes, hi Cheryl, how you going? It just gives it a different color. All right, so this is the darkest bit under here because that's under the leg. It's underneath that top part of that. This blending brush is getting to the point where it needs a new one because I can tell that it's not as, the fluid's not leaking out of it as nicely as it will do when they're new. Blending brushes, you get 3 in a pack. So they're good value. And you can actually use them, you can save, like you can, that's why I store some with my pencils, because I can, and I've got the spare one in my little drawer here. Okay, so they're all done, and your cap fits on the end here. Okay, I'll come back and do the envelope later. I'll just pop these guys back in here. I'm really thinking about pencils. I don't like them landing on the floor because they do break. That one's going on the inside, so we need to cut these guys out. So sorry guys, you're gonna have to, you get to see a little bit of my cutting, but I know that this camera doesn't let me zoom out. I'm going to cut some extra leaves just because I can. Oh gosh, if I can get them, they're so well stuck down. And I'll show you how, if you don't have any, like, because I don't have any green cardstock over here, so I'll have to show you what I will do in that situation, because I do need some extra leaves. Oh, I need my flower. One. Okay, so we need our number 2 piece, because we're going to cut out, and somewhere on this table there is a little bit of washi tape. It's normally living here because I do a lot of cutting here. So I am going to do this one first, and I'll cut out some leaves. I know I could do the others at the same time with a bit of washi tape, but I might be able to avoid using the washi tape. Let's see how we go. Okay. So there's my flowers. There's some extra leaves that don't want to come out. I'll show you what I'll do with them. I'll colour them in a minute. Yep. How'd you get? I'm going to do some extras of those again. Okay. This time I am going to use a little bit of washi tape because I don't want this to wiggle, because I've coloured that jug so beautifully. You can't have that. All right. That one. And my stool. I find that when I do multiple cuts, like multiple dies at the same time, that is when I need my washi tape. Okay, and I think it's because when it goes over that first one, it moves the second one. So, but because these two are on sort of sitting in line with each other, that's why I think we can get away with it. Okay. All right. Very nice. Oh, let's get these guys out. So what I'm going to show you with these is I didn't bring any green ink over with me. So what I'm going to do, because I want some green leaves, I'm going to colour them. Now I could have coloured them before I cut them out. And these are a different leaf to the one that's in there, so we'll do them a different sort of green. Actually, what have we got here? Oh, your Coastal Cabana, you're not going to be right. Okay, we'll do these in a different sort of green. And I'm just going to put a little bit of colour on them. Would have been better to colour them the other way, but that's all right. So I'm just running that along there. And then I'm just going to blend it. All right. And these are only going to stick out. Oh, my watch is telling me to stand up, but we don't need me to do that. Okay. I haven't decided if I'm going to use them yet. Perhaps I'll need to do another one just in case. All right. Because like I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to use them yet. Okay. So what we've got, where did my card front go? Over here. Okay, I did bring over a little piece of iridescent ribbon. I've been using this so much that it's run out just about. Now, I would normally, you know, I like to do the same thing all the time, and I just like to put it over there. But I thought I'd try something different. I was scrounging around the internet, and I found something that I really like. Now, I haven't got my heat tool over here. It's still packed from when I was away the other week. I haven't used it since. Make sure it's up the right way. Yep. What I found is some of the ribbons, you can heat them up and they shrivel. And I can't remember if this is one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to shrivel it. Okay. So I'm going to use a bit of tape and I'm going to pop it here. Okay. So when I say I'm going to pretend to shrivel it, I'm going to take that off there, put my tape on the other side of me, my ribbon, and normally I think I would need, let's see, I'm going to put the ribbon down, and I'm just going to, I don't know, shove it on sort of, I don't know what the word is, sort of gathered. Is that what you would call it? Onto that piece of tape. Okay. So see what I mean? It's sort of gathered. All right. So it's just got a piece of tear tape under there, sort of gathered under there. And then my stool is going to sit here. Okay. And then my pot is going to sit on top of my stool. And my stool is going to sit as flat as I can get flat because I need it flattish. So it's going to sort of sit here. I want it to be flat, so it can sit there for a second. And then my flowers are going to go onto my jug like so. And I might put a little leaf sticking out there. All right, but we need a sentiment. So I did have this piece here, and my sentiment is on a block. So I'm just going to make a little strip. Yeah, turn it over. It's a bit squished. So we'll do it again. Don't push it down too hard. Let's see if I can get it better this time. Much better. Okay. Get all that extra stays on off there. It's coming off quite good with this chamois. I'm pretty impressed. Ruching. Yes, that's a great word. I do really like that, Kate. The ribbon is ruched. Okay. And I am going to go like so. I need it smaller. Okay, hold your tongue right. Pretend that I've got a die in my hot little hand and I'm cutting it out like I would if I had a die that went round it with a nice big gap. Now, if you wanted to, you could thieve from now the inside, because I can't do it from the one that's on the mat that's on the front, but I'm going to have to do it from the one that's on the inside, because then you could actually put this on a piece of that pretty peacock. Okay. I quite frequently use my blocks as ruching the ribbon. We'll show that one. I don't know why it's showing my messages, but you know, we'll see. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. We won't do that. I quite frequently use my blocks as weights, okay? And the reason why I do that is because they're heavy and they work. So I'm going to stand this one on here. Oh, is that going to fit? I probably should have measured that actually. Oh, golly gosh, it's only just going to fit. Probably could have come down with our little stool. It's quite high up there now, but it's too late now because it's stuck. Yep, she's stuck. Okay. So I'm not going to put this one here. I'm actually going to adhere that straight down, because it doesn't, to me, this one does not need dimensionals, but our flowers do. And I will bring it quite close to the edge of my stool, especially since I've made it so tall, high up in the sky up there. Under here, nope, not under here, over here, we've got some dimensionals for our floral arrangement. Now, if you stick these on with the dimensionals in a little bit, then I can come in with those extra leaves that I made, and I can add them wherever I want, because I can sneak them in underneath the edges of this. Now, because we made it so that it's right up the top up there, let's just make sure that it's going to fit. Okay, and then these little leaves will be stuck on with glue. Okay. Shove that one in underneath there. Just makes a different layer. My sending love, because I've made that so far up the top, I was going to stick it just here. And you know what? I still am. But it will need to go on some dimensionals. Now, it's made so that it's long and skinny. I don't have any of my minis over here, so you can use these bits along the edge, or you can cut the big ones in half, okay? Just so that you know. Especially, they fit quite nicely on a sentiment this size when they're cut in half. Now, because that part of my leg is up, I'm deliberately not going to put a dimensional where that leg's going to sit. So I'm just going to pop that like so. Now, it's really pretty. This one's going to go on the inside. Hindsight tells me I probably should have moved it down a bit, but do you know what? It's too late now, okay? If I was to make this card again, I would move it down. Oh, this is going to go on here. Okay. Because otherwise you've got white on white, and it, to me, it doesn't, well, it's just my choice. I just like, it doesn't look right. You can put a stamp of sentiment on the inside if you choose. I'm not going to today. Okay, and I'm going to pop this one on the inside here. Have you seen these? No, because you can't find them. Have you seen these brass hearts? Aren't they just the sweetest? So I think because we're sending love with this one, is it needs a brass heart. Now there is 120 of these little babies in here. There's 3 different sizes. Oh, put it back on the white. So we've got these tiny little ones, medium-sized ones, and they're really shiny. And our Take Your Pick tool will make them move just with a bit of persistence. I've noticed I've got like a gummy look in there in the middle, so we'll just rub that off. All right. Use the pointy end of your Take Your Pick tool, guys. Don't use the gummy end because it leaves a mark on your brass. All right, just saying. And there we have it. Okay. So again, like I said, I'll colour that envelope in later. But what do you think? How pretty did that turn out? It's come up good, hasn't it? But yeah, so hindsight tells me move it down a little bit. Should have done a bit of placement. Would have liked that jug to be in the middle there and the stool closer to the bottom, but that's okay because it's still quite a pretty card. And then on the inside, we've got some matchy-matchy happening with our flowers. Okay, so that one there, you'll find that beauty, that stamp set, which is called, oh, it's a bundle. So with our bundles, you get 10% discount if you match the bundle, if you buy the bundles and the die of the stamp set and the die together. It's called Country Flowers. Oh, I'm showing you it, and oh, you're looking at the top of my head. We don't want that nonsense. Country Flowers comes with dies, absolutely gorgeous set, and photopolymer, and our elements of text, which I think I'm going to be using lots and lots of. I really like this one. It's a really nice set, and I'm very glad to have messy writing back. Elements of text is in the online exclusive. They've got, so check, there's a link. If you haven't seen the Stampin' Up store, we've got heaps of variety in there. We do have some paper catalogs. There is stuff available in the paper catalogs. There is a new paper catalogs mini coming out in January. If you don't have one, don't have a demonstrator, you would like one, just pop me a message and I will organize to get one to you. I haven't sent them all out yet, so they are still on their way for those people that are not already demonstrators and that have purchased from me in the last 6 months. So that's how you get a catalogue, or you just send me a message and ask me and I'll pop one in the mail to you. There's some really nice stuff coming up, and celebration starts on the 7th of January. If you haven't got your Christmas gift yet, maybe you could tell someone that you need to join Stampin' Up. It's $169 and you're going to have a continuing discount all the while you're crafting. Couple of links in the blurb on YouTube and on my demonstrator page in the Facebook page. If you're not signed up to my newsletter, please feel free to do that. I don't send them out very often. You're not going to get lots and lots of them, but you will get them when there's new things to tell you. And if you're watching this on replay on either Facebook or on my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe so that way you get a notification next time I'm going live. Next Thursday is Boxing Day. Christmas is coming up thick and fast. Not sure who I'm going to have here, what I'm going to be doing, so I can't make any promises. I will let you know on the day whether I'm going live. I know it definitely won't be on Friday, but we'll see. Stay tuned, we never know. Okay, so it was lovely to see you all. Have a fabulous Christmas and a fabulous, even better New Year. I can't wait to see 2025 come in. Lots of things have been happening. Looking forward to it. So, but first things first, have a fabulous Christmas. Hope that you all get spoiled, and lots of love.